No, this isn't bullshit. I'm being deadly serious. 1 million with less than $1,000 is very achievable. It can be done. It has been done. And yes, you have guessed it. I've also done it. There's no fluff in this video. Straight to the point, actionable strategies on how you can do this too. And yes, I promise I'll go through the entire process of how I did this at the end of the video and my exact strategy. But I want to run through the other strategies I've been brainstorming for the past week on how else I would do this now if I had $1,000 or less. By the end of this video, you'll be equipped with the strategies and the tools to build your pathway to a 1 million net worth. But please, and ask from me and a level of commitment from you too, ring that bell, smash that subscribe button and comment with the word in so I know you are taking action from this video and are ready to join the 1 million net worth club. Let's go. Have you ever thought you could just borrow $1 million? I'm getting my crystal ball out and imagining your response to this. Alan, who the hell is going to lend me $1 million? Hazard a guess. Who would lend that much money? If you have a wealthy extended family, possibly. If you have a rich husband or wife, maybe. But what about a bank? And why would a bank lend you $1 million? Listen, they might not do it in one go, but if you can prove to a bank that you're worthy of their capital, they would. But how do you do this with no track record? Banks love lending on physical assets, such as real estate, as they know if the worst comes to worst, they can repossess that property and they know that the asset will be resold and more than likely they'll make a tidy profit too. Real estate is a strategy for the ages and having a home is one of the basic needs across the globe and will always have demand, meaning banks will lend you the money to buy real estate as long as the property is habitable, can be rented, and is at or below market value. Now, you're probably thinking, I need a $30,000 or $50,000 deposit to buy a home, but there are options. You can find a rundown property, which is below market value, take out something called a bridging loan, which in effect is a short-term loan, so you can put the deposit down, renovate the property, go back to the bank and pull your cash out of that property, and then you are left with a property for zero money down. Rinse and repeat this strategy and you'll be on your way to becoming a $1 million net worth person. You may be asking, in what time scale? This depends on you and how aggressive you are at finding deals. But let's just say the deal above was based on a 100K property and you did this once a year for 10 years. You'd be left with £1 million worth of property. How much do you want this is the question, not how do you achieve this. Let's move swiftly on to buying a business. And let me tell you, if I knew about this strategy before I started my first business, Agility Comms, my strategy and business plan could have been a lot different. Most people think when buying a business, you need to be rich. I think we all think of either hedge fund managers, private equity firms, or businessmen walking around in their Savile Row tailored suits, picking off business owners as they please. Now, many moons ago, there could have been a lot of truth in these stereotypes, but certainly not in the world we live in today. There are people buying businesses for zero money down, and these are profitable, cash-flowing businesses as well, not distressed assets that need bailing out, like we've seen when Dominic Chappelle bought BHS from Philip Green for £1. There are plenty of the baby boomer generation who are either born just after World War II until the mid-60s, who are at the point where they're either tired of running their business or being involved in their businesses and are motivated sellers. Sometimes so motivated, they will sell based on an earn-out structure whereby they sell their business today, but you pay them over the next 3 years, for example. Now, at this point, you might be thinking, okay, but they are probably going to want some money up front. So how the hell do I fund this? Well, there's something called a leverage buyout, or an LBO as it's commonly known, whereby the company is bought, leveraging the assets of the company's balance sheet. Let me break this down for you. You at the other end of the screen are the buyer, and I'm selling you Allen's Glass and Glazing Limited. Allen's Glass and Glazing makes a profit before taxation of $1 million. We've agreed a purchase price of $3 million. I've agreed with you, Mr. Buyer, that I will take $1 million on day one and will take $2 million over 3 years. So how do we pay the buyer the $1 million? In this case, the glass company has 3 furnaces across its sites and they are worth $2 million, and these have been paid off many years before. What we can now do is go to a lender such as a bank or an asset finance lender and ask to borrow against this asset. And if we borrow 75% of this value and release $1.5 million worth of equity, you can then use this equity to pay me off from day one, and you've got another $500,000 kicking around, which you could use as working capital in your business. And then given the business is making $1 million per year in profits, we can pay the buyer his $666K per year and still have a tidy retained profit, which I can withdraw as a dividend. Now, I know you're all thinking this is too good to be true, but if you can comment below, I can get you in touch with people who are doing this on a regular basis. On to our third strategy, which is to sell expensive assets. Again, I'm sorry to come full circle, and you all know I love real estate, but have you ever watched the Selling Sunset or $1 Million Listing series? If not, clearly I watch too much celebrity TV with my better half, but there are real estate agents on these programs selling properties in the likes of New York for millions of dollars. Ryan Sahant, who featured on $1 Million Listing, has reportedly sold $10 billion worth of property, and there are plenty more real estate moguls out there too. And with commissions of these deals at around 3% on sale price, let's say you sell a property for $10 million in Manhattan, you'd only need to do 4 deals to get you to your million net worth. And albeit you certainly have to pay tax if you were selling real estate in the US or UK, but it would be feasible to reach $1 million net worth within a couple of years. Now, of course, there are many high-paying sales jobs other than real estate, such as software, where working for the right software company and selling to enterprise clients can command salaries up to and in excess of 500K. My point here is, sales can be a lucrative career for anyone who is willing to embrace this, and it isn't for the faint-hearted, but it's ever so rewarding, and you must ring that bell and subscribe to this channel if you want more strategies on sales and wealth creation. As I always say, sales is the lifeblood of any business, and it's where I started my career, and it's put me in a great position today. This brings us quite nicely to my next income strategy, which is tax. Now, we must all pay our fair share of taxes where we live, and obviously with the right advice, you can avoid tax in multiple ways, which is perfectly legal and within the law. But what about if you think, stuff it, I'm not willing to pay any more tax? Well, in the UK or US, you might have a big problem and might be thrown in jail, but there are countries across the globe where there is zero income tax. Now, moving to a country with low or zero taxes will mean you take home more or all of what you earn, and you can hit that 1 million net worth in a shorter time period. We've got the Cayman Islands, Bahamas, and Bermuda, which are all tax havens. But let's be honest, if you're on your journey to building a net worth of 1 million, the likelihood is we aren't going to start there, are we? However, a place like the UAE and Dubai in particular could be a great place for you to get to your 1 million net worth. Not only is it because there are zero income taxes in Dubai, but Dubai is a buoyant property market and there are plenty of companies looking for talent from across the globe. On top of this, Dubai has a great business community and a sense of a go-get attitude, which means you can thrive with your peers and reach that 1 million in a shorter space of time. Sales and lower taxes will get you to 1 million quicker. Fact. Last but certainly not least, is my strategy. I'll tell you what I did with very little money to get to 1 million net worth. Now, yes, for all of you that have tuned in before, you'll know that I worked in sales, but let me give you some insight. So from a young age, I started selling, and during university, I was selling products and services for a family business. And when I completed my degree, I decided to pursue a career in sales for a large multinational company. I gained skills and experience, and at the time was the youngest business manager in the company. And I learned how to sell to small and then large businesses, and then also learned about IT and telecoms products and how these benefit businesses. So whilst you don't need to specifically choose the same sector as me, I choose a sector where you can either sell high-ticket items like real estate or something where there is a large demand and there are a large pool of customers. The excess cash originally got me started in real estate, and I started to purchase single-let properties in the UK, which cash flow monthly, but the real money will be made in the capital appreciation over the many years to come. By this point, I'm 27, and whilst I haven't hit the million net worth, I'm happy, I've had a good start, but I knew I had to change something to get there. This was when I decided to branch out on my own, start a telecoms business, leaving a high-paying corporate job with a baby on the way. Now, just to interject at this point in the story, remember this phrase, high risk equals high reward. And whilst this strategy I'm talking to you about is a combination of what I've spoken about in this video, without risk, there is no reward, and you must be willing to move out of your comfort zone to achieve greatness. Move on a few years, and I built a 7-figure business, which I sold based on a multi-million-dollar valuation. Other side hustles are turned into businesses. My portfolio of properties grew, and I made other share acquisitions in other companies. The main reason I told you all of this is to demonstrate to you that without risk, there is no reward. And if I didn't take the plunge back in 2018 to decide I was going to start a business, I wouldn't have reached, let alone exceeded, 1 million net worth. Fortune favors the brave, and to be brave is to be bold. On that note, my friends, we're going to wrap this up. This video has been so enjoyable for me to deliver to you because I know my audience and I know you will take action. Leave me a comment below and let me know which strategy you will be using on your own journey. And once again, if you've enjoyed and taken value from my strategies today, smash a like and ring that bell, and I'll see you all in the next one.